Hello and welcome to Cadenza. Today's song was born from an experiment I started in April of 2000. For many of my projects, I start out with an idea and then I establish some parameters for the project so things don't go haywire and I end up changing the course of our natural history or something. It's actually not all that dramatic, but I find some parameters or guidelines help me keep the scope of the project from wandering. I hate to say rules because that sounds rigid and limiting. For example, if I were to challenge myself to write and produce a song in 24 hours, the first parameter is to stick to the 24-hour time limit. See, not so hard. Today's song evolved from a similar challenge. Write a song using a sort of stream of consciousness flow for the lyrics and see what comes of it. Don't judge, don't edit, at least try not to edit, just go and do and write. A good chunk of it came fast and furious with minimal tweaking. The song was hatched. Then at some point I must have considered it too silly to move forward with, and off it went to the box of wonders where unfarmed ideas went to languish. Early on in my writing career, I was not great at noting when I was creating things. I guess it just didn't matter. I was good at writing the day and the month, apparently, but less so within the years. That only proved to be a problem when I decided to start pooling my songs and such into a collective resource for reference purposes and easy retrieval. That's when I discovered some holes in my documentation. That forced me to go down to the basement, drag out the box of wonders, and start sifting through all my notes and such to get proper dates on songs. Some detective work was required. I've been down in the box at least 3 times now. In my last expedition, I came across the notes for today's stream of consciousness tune. I played through it, shocked I remembered it all, and was determined that it was still very silly, but also kind of fun. It aged well for being 22 years old in a box. I played it a couple more times and decided it might need some more words to flesh it out a bit, so I pulled out a pad and a pencil, put myself in the aforementioned streaming mode, and wrote some more stuff. I looked at it and now considered it done. I was just about to return it to the box when I thought I would just play around with it a bit and post it here for giggles. Sometimes it's good to be silly and not take yourself too seriously. I've spent some very good times in that space, and for the most part, the whole thing worked out for what it is and what it was meant to be. The more amazing thing to me is how the brain, or at least my brain, works. How a sort of nonsensical writing style used by people like Lewis Carroll or John Lennon can be harnessed to create a complete work with some sense of message, but one that is drastically open to interpretation. It makes you wonder what other things the mind can conjure if it were free to do so frequently. So here it is, only 22 years and about 33 minutes in the making, Jonathan Pickle. Jonathan Arlington or Randolph Pickle can't call his mother 'cause he doesn't have a nickel. Tries to sail the ocean in a Swiss cheese boat. Doesn't get far because the boat won't float. Jonathan Pickle is a magical man. He keeps super popping stardust in his big green hands. Jonathan Arlington loves to swim, but he can't get no one to swim with him, yeah. Jonathan Pickle knows a gal named Fizz. Never can remember what her last name is. Rock and roll dancing on a Saturday night. Didn't dance long because the shoes were too tight. Fizz gave Jonathan a big brass ring in hopes that maybe someday she would marry him. Jonathan Pickle gave the big ring back 'cause he didn't see his life ending up like that, no. Jonathan Randolph, not a very old man, did everything that a young man can. Never was a president, might have been a queen. Never poor, never rich, just happy in between. Old Jay Arlington never learned to fly, but that never prevented him from soaring so high. When they put him in the ground, his tombstone said, "Can you do any better than old Jonathan did?" Well, until next time, play freely.